In this session we will discuss an overview of the course and also go through the exam information. So firstly, looking at the course overview. In this course we've looked at topics related to work and employability. We started off in week 1 introducing you to the labour market and the world of work, talking about the employment relationship, talking about the actors in the employment relationship, and also looking at the current job market in Australia. In topic 2 we looked at employee rights and representation. We looked at your rights in the workplace and went through the 10 minimum employment standards. And we also looked at your representation in the workplace, including employee voice and also the role of trade unions. Topic 3 we looked at employee strategy and representation. We looked at how you can manage in the workplace. We looked at the roles and responsibilities of the employer, and we also looked at how they are represented in the workplace, and also things like leadership styles in terms of how you will manage. Topic 4 we looked at employability. We looked at developing career values and the importance of person-organisation fit, developing a professional profile, the importance of networking and social media. Topic 5 workforce planning and recruitment. We looked at different strategies in terms of recruiting new candidates for the organisation, how recruitment can be carried out internally versus externally, and what we look for as an employer. We then looked at various selection strategies, predominantly focusing on interviews, selection criteria, other selection strategies such as personality tests, references, and so forth. With training and talent development, we looked at the importance of learning in the organisation as well as the learning organisation. We also looked at developing a systematic training needs analysis. People and performance. We looked at performance management systems. We looked at the role of the performance appraisal, some of the biases that can occur throughout that process. In topic 9 on rewards and motivation, we looked at various reward systems in an organisation, and we looked at how we can use those reward systems to enhance motivation, as well as looking at some of the popular motivational theories. Topic 10 we looked at negotiation. We looked at the different styles of negotiation, how to become an effective negotiator, as well as looking at the stages of negotiation and the importance of communication in the negotiation process. And then finally we looked at health and well-being in the workplace. We looked at the importance of ethics, we looked at the importance of equity and inclusion in the workplace, as well as looking at the roles and responsibilities of employers and employees when it comes to health and safety in the workplace. In regards to the exam information for the course, so the exam content covers all weeks. The exam is 2 hours long, and you'll have 10 minutes at the start of the exam, which we call the perusal time, and at that time you may write on the exam paper. So that's just the question paper, not the answer booklet in that 10 minutes. The exam's worth 40 marks in total. It's closed book, a combination of multiple choice and short answers. You need to make sure that you bring your student ID to the exam and also something to write with. The exam structure. So section A is multiple choice questions, a total of 20 marks. So students are required to answer all 40 multiple choice questions, and each question is worth half a mark. So this covers the entire course content from topics 1 to 13. The information is equally drawn from lecture and textbook material. However, any major areas in the textbook that were not covered in the lectures are unlikely to be tested. Aim for 1 hour for part A and be mindful of the time. Section B involves short answer questions, a total of 20 marks. You're required to answer 4 questions from a possible 5. Each question is worth 5 marks, and these questions are drawn from topics 5 to 9 only. You should be aiming again for 1 hour for section B, approximately 15 minutes per question. Please be sure that you only answer 4 questions. If you do decide to answer all of the questions, the marker will only choose the first 4. So they will not take your best 4, they would just mark the first 4. So please be sure that if you have answered all of them, cross the one out that you do not want to be marked. So these are the short answer topics: workplace planning and recruitment, employment selection strategies, training and talent development, people and performance, rewards and motivation. And it's a good idea, being a course on work and employability, to also keep the overall course theme of employability in mind when you're thinking about these topics and possible questions. So a key is to focus mainly on the lecture content. Use workshop information in the textbook to further your understanding. Don't forget to demonstrate your applied knowledge, drawing on your own experiences, case studies, scenarios from the course, or perhaps even hypothetical examples. Approximately 250 words or 3/4 of a page per short answer question. So 2 key areas for the short answer questions. Part 1, you should be providing definitions and describing the elements or the concepts of the question. Part 2 is all about the examples to demonstrate that applied knowledge. So here's a practice short answer example. Discuss the importance of recruitment and outline 2 external and 2 internal methods of recruitment. Use examples to further explain your answer. So the short answer question has 3 parts. 1, you're discussing the importance of recruitment, and in the exam you might like to underline or highlight some of the key elements in each of the questions to make sure that you answer all components of the question. 2 is you outline the 2 external and 2 internal methods of recruitment, and then finally you make sure you use examples to further explain your answer. So here's a practice example that you can have a look at that satisfies each of those 3 parts. So tips in terms of reading the question carefully. Again, underlining the keywords, making sure you know what the question is asking. Answer all parts of the questions. Like I've mentioned, short answer questions have 3 parts. You might want to draw a diagram or outline to help you answer the question, and you may like to use that perusal time at the start of the exam to do that. Reinforce your knowledge with explanations and examples. Examples you've heard in the lecture, from videos you've perhaps seen in the lectures or the workshops. Your own experiences are usually the best and the easiest to recall, or perhaps experiences of your friends and family members. So don't just state what the theory is and describe, actually discuss and talk about how it applies. Some extra tips are to actually use the words of the question and the answer to keep you focused. Also, in terms of be clear and concise, try and have 1 idea per paragraph. Keep an eye on the time and use that allocated time per section that was mentioned earlier. There's no need to reference material in the exam. Again, make sure that you don't answer all the short answer questions, and if you do, make sure you cross out the one that you do not want to have marked. Again, use that perusal time wisely for planning, particularly these short answer questions. Also double check your exam details, the time, location before the day, and also allow additional time for parking, just to avoid stress and anxiety on the day of the exam. So again, checking the exam details, making sure you know where you're going. This is a large course, so there's often different room locations, so don't just assume that you'll be with your friend. Also, it's really important for you to have your say, so you can complete the student evaluations through the Griffith portal to have your say on the course. Thank you, and all the best for the exam.